Hi, we are in the meatpacking district in New York City, and I am standing right in front of the Starbucks Reserve Roastery. Now, if you're a coffee fan and a Starbucks fan, this is a location that you cannot miss. If you're not in New York City, let me show you what you're missing.
initiating the phase of emptying it out of the drum in order to bring it back down to ambient temperature. We just quenched it. As it drops the temperature, it's preparing to empty out. The stirring arms are on the move. I can hear the cooling tray working in 4, 3, 2, 1.
On cue.
Here we have 100 pounds of just roasted pike plate.
100
Still
pounds.
incredibly hot. Once that drum shuts, we will prepare the actual temperature on the inside to receive the last batch of green coffee from today. We will hear it sputter first and then drop in order to start. Here we go. How it works. Started transferring as much heat into the raw product as possible. That's how we roast. That's how we change it from that very hard, small green color to the roasted color that you see. So we drop heat coming right from this gas burner, right under. The drum is spinning very fast to make sure nothing gets burned. We have the fan pulling hot air through the pipe from the back for an even endothermic transfer of heat. We're going to bring these beans from ambient temperature all the way to over 430 degrees Fahrenheit in less than 12 minutes. That's what is going to initiate such a huge change from what you see in that window to the roasted coffee here. Right now, though they come in ambient, they're just absorbing much heat right now, kind of blending into the environment. I have a hot drum, I have ambient temperature beans. They're going to meet in the middle at a lower temperature, and that's when we kick the burner into full gear and try to get them as hot and as fast as possible. We're building pressure in the bean to the point that it changes the structure itself. That's how we're going to roast it. Very hot, not much change in the beans yet. Though right now they're about over 220 degrees on the internal temperature of the beans. They're not actually going to change color until they hit above 280. And it's very fast pace. What's that? Thank you for all your help. Okay, folks. This coffee that we see here is actually no longer hot. We have another minute until the cooling tray on that side is going to open. All the stirring arms is going to funnel the coffee out of the cooling tray to be moved into the cask. was, and now it is time to get it out. It's already started to brown, coming from the amount endothermic reaction that we've been doing this entire time. Right now, as a quick check, the beans are in this phase. We've taken a lot of the water on the outside, taken a lot of the skin, and we're using heat to dry out the inside, build pressure on the inside of the beans with the moisture that comes from its structure. And almost like a popcorn, before it starts to pop, it's going to hit a threshold where the very rigid and strong structure cannot hold its heat anymore. And it will crackle and pop open, making the beans themselves far bigger and far lighter. It's a huge reaction. So huge that even though this is cast iron, you will hear the beans crack open, almost like popcorn or pop rocks. In the next minute, you'll hear it once, and then you'll hear it.
Our last batch of the day is done.
Touch the burner that's heating them. The entire time we've been building heat into the bean. When it cracks, it gives heat back. So if you're heating this guy up, you've got to put that heater all the way down while it's doing it and bring it all the way back. But we're now dealing with a different animal. Its structure is different. Its heat transfer is different. So though we're putting the heat back in, we're doing it slower. We're heating the bean at a slower rate. We've created coffee. Now we have to make it good. The rest of the phase is where we're still building pressure. We're still building CO2 in the bean, still building flavor compounds, but at a slower rate. You don't need to go as fast anymore. You want to take it a little bit slow. Man is slower, heat is slower, even the rotations are slower in comparison.
Okay.
This is now when we're going for the highest rate of a rise. Well, you'll definitely, on a channel, you'll definitely find a lot of different things to watch. And you're actually going to see in the next few seconds what happens to this coffee after I get it out of the cooling tray.
Okay.
So the whole point of this that we've been doing back to back is that this is coffee we're going to package and send out for other stores. This will not be enjoyed here. This is going to be enjoyed across the East Coast.
Okay.
How we package it out is once I put it in the copper cask, which is like 5 different storage silos, someone who has already started pulling that coffee out. You see these larger ones that are now in motion?
Yeah.
From the bottom of the copper cask, so they pull the coffee up, pull the coffee around, drop it, and then it's going to go to our finished goods room.
Wow. We'd like to thank our host James for showing us a full demonstration from start to finish.
Absolutely.
And
It's my
educating
pleasure.
all of us on how it starts and how it's completed and packaged.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For many of us, every day we just grab a cup of coffee and we have no idea the intensity and the work and all the technicalities of how coffee is made.
There's 1,000 perspectives right from the farm all the way to the cup. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you very much, James.
And if you want a closer, we're doing our final open.
Definitely. And as soon as I edit, I'm going to put you in the credits, James.
Thank you.
I'll give you my QR code later. You're going to be a celebrity.
Oh, finally. All right.
And when it's bonus time, you tell your boss, listen, I made the papers.
I love it. All right, start this slow. We actually start the cooling process early. There's a water line in the back.
Okay.
Spraying the beans so they don't keep themselves from getting hotter on their own. But 4, 3, 2, 1.
On cue. James, you're on cue. You got it. Wow, this is an amazing process. How many of you at home watching really know what goes into the intensity of your coffee during the day or even in the morning? This is the process. This is a glimpse of the process.
Good evening, guys.
Yeah, it's up there now.
So this is actually the first thing you do after you properly roast coffee. You got to bring its temperature down before it roasts itself. Coffee comes out at over 400 degrees, but the roasting is now over. You got to bring it down safely down to ambient temperature. That's why we get it out of the drum. Stirring arm to make sure it doesn't overheat, but also there's a fan under here connected to the piping, pulling the hot air out of all of the beans. Once we do that, we want to double check to make sure that it's roasted proper, that the exact light and dark that Pike's Place needs to be. Then this will open up, stirring arms will move it into the copper cap. Now this coffee is going to be packaged by the end of the night tonight. That's its main goal. For a trunk to pick it up, thousands of pounds of Pike's Place properly sealed, ready, wrapped up. So the moment this gets into the cask, my friend in the back is going to pull it out. Exactly what's going on right above you. Set amounts, pulling the, I would say 1,100 pounds that we roasted today, 120 pound increments, go into the back or pick up tomorrow. This is the final batch of coffee that we roasted today. Now cooling into the cooling tray, get back to ambient temperature. This will be here, probably swirling for the next, I would say, 2.5 minutes. And the cooling tray will open up. We will funnel the coffee out. Passed every quality assurance test as roasters we have for it. Its color was great. It roasted well. Everything was to spec, and now it's time for it to go.
Pike's Place. Starbucks.
So this is actually going. This is called for the intent to package. So before we package it, we need large-scale silos that can hold that coffee until we're ready for that to go, which is Cask. That's not just a big container. There are 5 silos in that cask that can hold 900 pounds each. So really, we package twice a day, so it never stays in there long. But if we really wanted to, we could fill that with just under 2 tons of coffee.
Wow.
Classic example though, one of my coworkers getting that coffee out as we speak. I'm filling one silo, he's packaging another. Once this finishes, probably gonna package this one too. Best way to think of all of these wacky chain pipes is that they're all just hairpins. Move one, drop to that one, drop to the end.
And each compartment is a bag?
Say again?
Each compartment is a bag?
It's not so much by weight, more just to move either something vertically or horizontally, especially something that's very easy to free. Tray. This is a flat tray, yet you didn't need anything to get all the coffee out. These stirring arms are designed in a way to funnel from the center. At this point, you stick your hand around here, you can contaminate the entire thing. It is food now. The less human interaction, the better. So everything can just naturally funnel every single bean out.
It's cute, yeah.
Unless, did any hide on top? I know some play that game. No, they good.
Thank you for joining me on our tour in New York City of the Starbucks Reserve Roastery. Until next time, I'm your host, Annie. Good night.